So let's talk about some of the factors that's taking place in Iran right now. So one of the key ways that this invasion connects with the 2003 United States invasion of Iraq is through this idea of a preemptive strike or claiming preemptive self-defense. But this idea of preemptive self-defense doesn't actually exist in international law. You can search through the UN Charter, you can check through state practice, and you would find that it doesn't really exist. But back in 2003, there were a number of Western analysts who claimed that it was an emerging norm. Now, if you fast forward to today, in light of what's happening in Iran, but also in light of Russia's preemptive strike on Ukraine, you can say that according to state practice, that it is in fact an emerging norm. But as with all things international law, you can see a clear double standard. So for humanitarian law experts who are looking at current events through a global south perspective, what would be of importance for you is how countries like those of the EU and beyond look, think, and speak about Russia's intervention in Ukraine as opposed to how they look, think, and speak about the United States and Israel's intervention on Iran. Because it's here that you might find a very clear distinction or double standard of how countries such as Russia and countries such as US and Israel are measured on the international scale. And this is an issue that third world experts in international law have constantly brought focus throughout history. So in simple terms, 12 experts note that international law does not apply and is not applied to states in the same way. Because depending on the monetary, political, and military clout you have in the international system, you can actually maneuver and use international law to your benefit. So the less power you have in the international system, the more likely that the system is going to apply to you, and more likely that you would not be able to use the system for your benefit. So you can't use it as a trigger mechanism, for instance. When it comes down to it, it begs the question of, does the current international system need to go through a reform process? This is a question that has been asked over time, and you would see that even in terms of funding of the UN. And if you go deeper still, the question remains, did the imperial system ever really end?